Yes.
Okay. Okay, and where's Andre? So Andre, we got to see you. Is Sir here?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yay. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Andre, sir. So
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed this initial chat with you all before we start the official webinar. I want to thank each one of you because I know that it's, it's an odd time for everyone, but you have made the time, and I think that's part of Don Bosco's joy, that people want to give back, our students want to give back. You want to share your experiences. You want to expand those experiences for other students. Make sure that you empower and motivate them. Thank you so much for being here at a time like this when students are sitting at home and trying to figure out plan A has gone for a toss. So now we have to look at plan B, C, and E. I think listening to all of you, at least they'll be able to structure what's next. I want to thank Roma ma'am and Andre sir for connecting with all of you, making sure that you all are here, and with the rest of the webinar team, especially Chef Melroy, Chef Prasad, Susan ma'am. That's our webinar team that kind of gets everything together, and then I promptly come and say hello and thank you. So over to you, Roma. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We all at DBC-HS take a great pleasure in welcoming you all. Today's topic is working abroad expectations. We have many of our students who would want to work abroad or study abroad. Who better to guide them than you all expats? I would like to introduce the lady on the panel first, Ms. Jagruti Patil. She's completed her bachelor's degree in hospitality studies from Don Bosco College of Hospitality Studies. In 2015, she moved to Canada to pursue her culinary management diploma program from George Brown College, Toronto. Ms. Patil also has worked as a pastry chef at Trump International Hotel in 2016 and has been working for Delta Hotels by Marriott from 2017 onwards. She also owns her venture Irresistible Bliss. We welcome you, Jagruti.
First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to be on these listening channels with my industry seniors and my colleagues. But honestly speaking, I stumbled on this opportunity and made the most out of it. My dedication, hard work, perseverance, patience were my only mantras to go.
Thank you.
I have never been to any other country, let alone a different continent itself. So when I got this opportunity to study in Canada, I was very excited as well as very nervous. I mean, the thought of exploring the world was exciting, but at the same time, the fact that I'm going to be completely alone by myself was nerve-wracking. So, most of us, I did a lot of research, I took a lot of advice from people around me and planned everything thoroughly beforehand. So when I started my application, I was still in college and I was in my 6th semester. I remember, it's so fresh in my thoughts right now. So I started my application in Jan, and by May, I had already gotten an acceptance letter from George Brown College. So I completed my final exams, and just in 2 months, I flew in Canada. So it was a really, really great experience for me, and I would suggest that anyone who wants to explore the world should definitely have this opportunity to go ahead and travel around the world.
Right, exactly. Moving to our second panelist, Mr. Ristin D'Souza. Mr. Ristin D'Souza has completed his bachelor's degree in hospitality studies from Sophia Polytechnic. He started his career in 2012 with Sofitel BKC as a butler. In 2013, he went on to pursue a master's degree in tourism and hospitality management from Manipal University, Karnataka. Mr. D'Souza has been my colleague at Don Bosco College of Hospitality Studies, working for front office department as a lecturer from 2015 to 2019. Currently, he's in Canada from 2019 onwards, working for Western Harbour Castle, Toronto. Welcome you, Ristin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to our third, sorry.
Yeah,
You
no,
want
it's
to say
like
something? No.
it's so happy. I'm so happy to seriously be part of this. It's such a nice welcome break from the daily grind that this entire thing has turned life into. And yeah, I can second what Jagriti says. If you want to travel the world or whatever, just stop in Canada. Honestly, you will get the taste of the entire world here. Like my team at the hotel, my boss is Chinese. My co-workers, I have Indians, I have Filipinos, I have Chinese, I have native Canadians. I have literally people from all over the world. You want to travel the world, just come to Canada. You won't regret it.
Sure. Our next panelist for today is Mr. Clive Gonsalves. Clive Gonsalves has been my classmate, and we've done a bachelor's degree of hospitality studies from Don Bosco College. He started his career in ITC Maratha working for room reservations. In 2015, he moved to Canada to pursue his post-graduation in hospitality management. From 2017 onwards, he has worked in many properties in Canada, Deerhurst Resort, Huntsville, Western Calgary Airport Hotel as a pre-opening team, Delta by Marriott. Currently, he's part of guest services and concierge at the Relay and Chateau Post Hotel and Spa. Welcome you, Clive.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be online and chatting with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our fourth panelist for today is Mr. Yogesh Khandare. Mr. Yogesh Khandare has also completed his bachelor's degree of hospitality studies at DBC-HS. He started his career as an F&B attendant in 2016 with Fairmont, Dubai. Mr. Yogesh Khandare went on to become a sales agent and then a group sales agent at Burj Al Arab. He also has a working experience as a sales executive at Conrad Dubai luxury brand of Hilton. We welcome you, Mr. Yogesh.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I am very humbled to be a part of the Zoom. I'm really feeling privileged and honored to be here. Thank you so much, Annabelle ma'am, and all the faculty who've given me this opportunity. I can't thank you enough for this thing.
Thank you so much. Our last panelist, but not the least, Mr. Godwin Pereira. Mr. Godwin Pereira has been a Don Bosco College hospitality student and passed out his bachelor's degree with us. He started his career in 2018 as a bartender for Red Brick Restaurants Private Limited. He has completed his WSET level 1 and 2. Mr. Pereira has worked as a bartender for Marriott International Dubai. And he also has working experience as a head bartender at Edris Hotels Dubai. We welcome you, Godwin.
Thank you, ma'am, for that introduction. I thank Annabelle ma'am and Andres and all the faculties for having me over here. It's a great honor to be here back and talking to all of the freshers. It's something even I looked up when I was a fresher to speak to my seniors. So it's a great opportunity.
It would be great to having you all speak to our students, sharing your experiences. I would like to start the questions with Ristin, Godwin, and Yogesh. You all can answer one by one. How did you plan your journey to migrate from the country and work abroad or settle over there? Anyone?
That's a big one. That's a
Yes.
big one. Okay, I'll go first. For me, it's always been a really, really long-term goal. Moving to a different country and especially a different continent. North America is very different from Asia in almost every aspect. And yeah, you have to plan. You have to be ready for almost every eventuality. You have to have backup plans for everything. And it is going to take time. There's no sense in rushing it. For me, I did not want to come here as a student. No offense, geography. I did not want to come here as a student. I just thought it was a little bit risky coming as a student because it doesn't guarantee you a PR card. I wanted to come into Canada as a permanent resident, which was definitely much, much harder than just getting a student visa, getting an admission in a college. It's super difficult. But once you get through that initial difficult hurdle, life is so easy. You don't have to worry about your visas. You don't have to worry about where you're going to work. You don't have to worry about career changes. You're basically free to do whatever you want. So that was my prime thing that I kept in mind. And yeah, it has been a long, difficult road. You have to take into considerations the smallest things biggest among is financials. You cannot ignore financials. It's a very expensive country to live in. A place where a decent haircut costs like $40. Convert that and see how much you're paying for a haircut. Yeah,
Wow.
it's an expensive country to live in, but
You need to have good hair to cut those for $40. Huh?
yeah, yeah, like my wife got her keratin treatment last week. It set me back like by $400. So yeah, but all that being said, you have to make sure that one of the biggest things I kept in mind is you follow due processes. There are no shortcuts. Do not try to, I mean, there are shortcuts, but do not try to do shortcuts, because the governments over here are very different from the governments back home. The concept of bribery exists, of course, but it is a different thing altogether over here. Here, if you're caught with, if you're in the country in some illegal means, yeah, you can kiss your dreams goodbye. So yeah, the planning process, one big plus about coming to one of these countries is everything is online. Whatever info you need, you can definitely go and get in touch with us who've already moved here. But for me, when I did that, I found all the required info online, and I did not go through any agent. I did not go through what's that, Y-axis and all of them. Did the whole thing by myself, and you can do it. The fact that I'm here proves that you can do it. So all you have to do is research and make a proper plan, make a path. And trust me, migrating is not that difficult of a challenge. Of course, it's a very expensive thing to do. It does make it easier with money in your pocket, but hey, you got to be smart with your financials. You got to save, you got to invest. That's what I did over a period of almost 6 years before I had that sort of money to be able to come here. But you do that and it makes life very easy. Over to you, Godwin.
I totally agree with what Rishton said. So you have to be financially stable to come to another country. But like Canada being too expensive, Middle East is something that I look forward to, and I would rather tell the freshers to try in a country that is much more reasonable and easier, like to go and stay in and work. Where moving to Canada is much more easier from UAE than in India. So the experience in UAE is really good, and it being a tourism hub where people from all over the world come visit UAE because of its how UAE is. So yeah, it's good. It's good to
Yeah.
work in such a place
Right.
where you get a lot of clientele from all over the world, and it's a very good exposure. You get to learn a lot of culture. Even your workmates, like even Rishon said, like it's a mixed culture even in UAE. So yeah,
Yes.
I think Yogesh, you want to add
Yogesh,
something?
Yep,
you would like
yep.
to add
So,
something?
yes, with respect to my planning, my planning, like how all of the students have joined in, they're listening right now. My planning started way back before even I started BBC, before even I joined Don Bosco. It was a long process of what needs to be done for me. Uh, and I would like to give this advice to all the students who are listening right now. Before you just think, okay, I want to go abroad and work abroad. No, it doesn't just happen in a click. There are a lot of thought processes that goes through, and the biggest thought process that I stuck to is actually what I would be happy with and what are my strengths. So if I know what are my strengths, stick to that. It doesn't mean that if you join the hospitality sector, you have to go and work abroad. There are a lot of opportunities within India as well, that gives you a very good platform. So my planning started way back, like in 2012, uh, more way back than 2007, to be really honest. 2007, 2006 is when I passed out from my college. So I was planning for that, and I had a lot of possibilities. But as Riston said, it has to be with planning for sure. You need to plan your things, and not just according to you. You need to plan according to the market. First thing, you need to have your family supporting you. So if you don't have your family supporting you, all your plans would be crashing down. So your family support is very much important. You need to talk to them. You need to let them know, like, this is what I want to do, and this is what I will be doing. Slowly, steadily, when I came to DBC, I think this was the highlight of my entire life. I can say that I got all these positions that I have with me. I credit all of them to DBC. Those are not my positions. So, so yeah, a lot of planning, a lot of research, and a lot of focus, a lot of knowing yourself, and then you get the answer as to what you want to do.
Thank you so much. So taking it ahead with, as Riston, Godwin and Yogesh said, research as a key, financial stability and building your strengths, moving to Jagruti and Clive, you all chose a different path. You all went ahead and did your post-graduations, studied abroad. How do you all feel that is important to study in a foreign country before you work?
So when I initially came here, like I had actually two plans, whether to go to Paris and or to Canada, and I was very confused between both the countries. So for me to settle down in a country, I had to, and I would suggest anyone who is planning to settle down in a country to study first. That is just my way how I went it, because I wanted to be sure wherever I'm going, the environment suits me, the culture suits me, because here everything is so different as compared to India. The culture is, the environment, like it's harsh winter sometimes or it's harsh summer sometimes. So you kind of need to balance it out. So I feel like being a student and coming here was was the amazing thing that I did, and it helped me in a very long run. Like today, I know I'm here for 5 years and I completed my studies, but I know each and every part of where I live, and I'm very familiar with the place now. So it kind of gives me a plus point that I know for sure that I want to stay here. So I would just suggest the students that are listening right now that please do your research accordingly and make sure that you're taking a right decision. Even if you don't, make sure to correct it. But yeah, moving on to you guys. Go ahead.
Thank you. To be honest, like you can decide where you want to go. I mean, you can go to New Zealand, Australia, Canada, like whichever country you want to go. The easiest part, as Riston mentioned earlier, that to go as a student, but the only drawback is the financial stability. It is expensive. Canada was the cheapest option, but it's a good country to study and live afterwards. But for me to choose Canada because I had family back here, and also it was, compared to other countries where people are having racial discrimination and other problems, Canada was one of the best countries to choose and live. If possible, I would suggest, like, if people are having financial problems, like it is easier to get work experience back home in India or whichever country you get a work experience. Work as a manager or a supervisor, get all the experience, build it up, and then as Justin applied for his residency directly and landed as an immigrant. That would be an ideal choice. But to be honest, studying does help you get into the culture and mix well with, you start getting to know everything slowly by slowly. But it all depends, like if you want to study, and like I did not want to waste my time in India. I just wanted to get out as soon as I can, and that's what I did. Luckily, I'm here now, working and living here. So studying abroad, it is a good option, but if you don't want to, it's not really required. Work experience that's all that matters right now.
I would just like to add on to
Yes,
what
yes.
Clive said. So when I
Yes.
initially came here, my financial background wasn't that strong, honestly speaking. So at that moment, I had like 3 different jobs. So if you know you want to stay here, if you are that hardworking and you know you're dedicated, I worked like for a year almost. I did not have any offs, and I worked for 3 jobs, and I collected my college fees. That's how I did it. So, and you can, it is possible, but you just need to be determined and persistent on what you have to achieve in your life.
So proud of you all. And since we are talking about migrating and living abroad, I would like to ask Ma'am Annabelle a question. Ma'am Annabelle, you have lived in the states of United
America.
Would you like to tell us your experiences of living and working over there?
Okay, I kind of feel guilty right now because I didn't go there to study. And I was fortunate enough to get my citizenship thanks to family. I have to say, though, that working there and living there, as most of the students do know, as much as I love India, I bleed red, white, and blue. America gave me my adult life. So the empowerment of owning your own business, of being able to handle it as a woman, because it was my sister, brother-in-law, and me, but we lost him midway, and it was two women that were working the business. And honestly, the business is a competitive business, but running the business as two women, it was so easy, which I know is not easy here. You get thrust with the gender inequality all the time, but not there. Right from, and honestly, I was shocked at how easy it was to set up the business. You go to your Chamber of Commerce, they hand you a package. You go to the city of Pleasanton, where we were in Northern California, they give you all the steps to follow. You have help along the way. You then go to your health board, and they are even more constructive. Your food inspector, instead of being, as the way they come down in India, down on you, they're actually more educative. They want you to succeed, so they will come in and help you to succeed rather than go, oh, you haven't done this, so let's shut you down. So it was a positive experience completely, and that's as far as professionally. Personally, I made the most of living there. I used to be called the Patel Tours, because anybody and everybody that came, I took them to the Muir Woods and to Mount Tamalpais and over the Golden Gate Bridge, and to see the 17-mile drive. Explored. I can't think of doing those things here, just because within the weekend, if we decide to drive out somewhere, one day is just to drive out of Mumbai and to drive back. So then you get one day. So really, at my age, I'm not going to do that. The ability to have this entire beautiful break, like I see Clive's beautiful pictures on the lake, and to do all these extra things that you can do. Riston was, exploring Toronto. We got to see every length and breadth of it.
Yes.
So when you see, and I see Yogesh doing his runs all over, so we get to see his pictures.
I just decided to employ my wife as my PR specialist.
There you go. That's the experience that you want for everyone. But having lived half my life there and half here, there is something to be said about living in your home country. I have to say, I guess I never allowed racism to enter my life. I didn't see it because I didn't want to see it. And I don't think, if all the students who know me know that there is absolutely 0% fear over here. So, which makes no one really, threaten you or whatever. But living in India, there are privileges to being here, of seeing people that look like you, the comfort, knowing that you'll never be alone. Because, every single person is in your business and they want to take care of you. And you might get upset with it, but really, I know what isolation is like when I lived on my own in America. And I'm living alone now. And there's completely no isolation. Because everybody, my paper is not picked up from the door. By 9 o'clock, my neighbor's calling me up to find out what's happened. Your liftman will ring the bell to make sure you're okay. You drive out and there's somebody who's wishing you, which, is, you can't, the warmth of India is, it takes a while to create that when you're outside. It's not unattainable, but it takes a while. So,
Thank you so much, ma'am. Taking from that point, when you go into a different country, definitely you're bound to get a cultural shock. Do any one of you would like to share with us some experience about that?
Um, well, honestly, I always had this thing that, once I go there, it's going to be so different. It's going to be scary. I didn't really get that culture shock. I don't know. Again, culture would depend upon your personality. And as you would know, I'm not a very extroverted person, and I'd be by myself. So for me, actually, the culture shock did not hit. And I actually found it pleasant because you had less people bothering and interfering in your life. But yeah, if like ma'am said, if you are a person who has very close family ties, and you speak to everybody at your workplace, and you're always asking about, and you're that very cheery person, yeah, it can be very different, because here at work people are different. Like I said sometime back, people are
yeah,
very different. Your work life and your home life are not
very
supposed to
simple.
mix. Yeah, people do get offended if you call them after hours. People do get offended if you try and cross that little boundary that is there. So that was one thing that I made sure I until now I make sure I do not do that. It's very easy to fall in that trap because they're very nice. People over here are very nice, but you have to understand that that nicety comes from a very different place. It's not because they want to be your friend or they want to go out for drinks with you. It's because that's how the culture is supposed to be at work. It's not necessary that they're your friend just because they are nice. So that's one thing that's majorly different. Another thing that's very different over here is the very concept of politeness. You have to be a good citizen. You have to be polite. You will see people waiting in droves over here at the signal, waiting for the light to turn before they cross. And if you don't follow that, you are going to get dirty looks. And Canadians by nature do not interfere in other people's. They're not going to say anything to you, but yeah, you'll get that dirty looks. Littering, the very way you carry yourself in public, you're not going to hear loud voices and abuses and someone screaming and fighting, all of that. That's not going to happen over here. So you have to make sure that when you come into a country, you have to play by their rules. I see that a lot of times when people come here and they still want to be Indian, which is great, but you got to bring the positive parts of being Indian over here, not the negatives. Like a simple example of personal space, where we are completely okay the whole way we've been traveling to
Right.
college in the trains. We don't have that concept of personal space, but over here people do spread out. So that's something, just simple stuff like that is different. But again, it's not something that you really need to be worried about. You just be empathetic and keep your eyes open, see what people are doing, just follow their lead. At least initially, you'll pretty much find your place over here, and the culture shock won't hit you that bad.
Somewhere down the lines,
Yes.
I do agree with that. But yeah, for me, when I came here, I was 20, I believe I was 21 years old. And for me, it was a completely cultural shock because I was rebellious. I'm not lying. When I was in India, and when I came here, I had like an open playground. I could literally do anything and everything I have because I had my own house and I had everything. So for me, yes, there was a lot of cultural gaps, and because Canada is a multicultural city, I have friends from all over the world that come into my house, let it be Chinese or let it be Ethiopians from every corner
True
of
that.
the world. There have been people who come, who talk to you, who share their cultures with you. And I feel like that is one of the best parts of coming abroad, that you come, you get to share that kind of culture with each other and you get to learn something new every single day. And
Yep.
and that's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I loved
Yep.
about Canada. You can make friends with like literally anyone. My closest friends, one is a Lithuanian, one is a
Wow.
Mexican, one is a Bangladeshi.
Whoa.
Like
Wow.
all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what Riston. Correctly laid down all the correct points. I think for how we should be working, how actually we should be behaving over here. Because even over here in the Gulf, there's a lot of norms for a culture in the UAE which is very close knit. Or a lot of people over here, they think that the UAE culture is very closed. They don't want to be open enough. But to be really honest, it's the complete opposite of it. It's a total opposite of it. Yes, as Riston said, laws and procedures need to be followed. This is what is expected from each and every citizen who's staying over here. Simple example, as you said, Riston, walking on the footpaths. When you don't walk until and unless you don't see the green light over there, and if you do walk, there are a lot of eyes staring at you for sure. As simple as going in the supermarket as well. For us back in India, we don't have something called as queue. There is nothing as queue over there back home.
Yeah.
We just make up our own queues back home. But then this is what I think once you go abroad, you will automatically learn that people are giving space to other citizens as well. First thing is respect, and yes, politeness is what is expected from you. And over here again, it is completely different in the Gulf. It is I think another future city that is going to be developed in the next 10-15 years. So the citizens that they want people who would be coming in. Yes, first they should be highly skilled people for sure. And yes, your culture background matters a lot. How you present yourself, not just at work, but how you present yourself publicly as well. So, but then yes, you get to see a lot of cultures, a lot of global cultures that you get to see. A lot of people from all around the world. You get to see, for example, something that is accepted in our culture. It's completely different in some other culture. So that is the beauty of it, and that's all.
Thank you. Clive or Godwin, would you like to say something about this?
I mean, in terms of cultural shock, yes, everyone will experience cultural shock. For me, when I got here, I would bike to college every day when I started studying. So like just on the sidewalk, you would bike and then people would just randomly say, hi, good morning. And like strangers wishing everyone in the morning, right? And I was like, good morning.
I guess we three can relate to that. The first time you walk on the Canadian streets and then you're like, good morning. Like, do I know you?
And then once you get used to it, you start getting used to saying good morning to everyone passing by and saying hello, at least give a bow or shake your head and say hello. That was one culture shock. And even at work, our managers, like the hotel that I work right now, even the owners are like in their 60s. We never call them sir or we call them by their first name. People prefer to call them by their first name. All managers, like if you call them sir, they'll be like, no, just call me by our first name. That's a cultural shock in Canada. Like sometimes the chefs prefer to call them as chef, but anywhere else, in other departments, call them by their first name. That's one. And then the other cultural shock is the weather. Like the weather, you have to have the weather app on your phone. People in Canada have to check the weather 3 to 4 times a day.
True that.
Morning, afternoon, evening.
True that.
The night before you sleep so that you're prepared for the next day. Because it can rain, it can be sunny the next day. Where I live, it might even snow next week. You never know.
Oh. I remember Jagrati started raining, I think so 2 weeks back, just all of a sudden. Oh my God.
It was sunny and it started raining.
And I was like, and I'm talking about rain. Like soak your bones rain.
Well, yeah, you guys are talking about rain and I'm heating up over here in 45 degrees right now.
Seriously, for the kids who think Canada is a cold country, we are hot right now. It's hot over here.
Because it's being closer to the pole, I feel like the UV rays that fall on Canada are quite strong as compared to what you feel in India. So even if the temperature is low, you still feel too hot. It feels like you're burning.
It's hot. It's like a very simple example is
but when it's cold, it's
something called
super cold.
So on
we have something called
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, we have something called as the warming shelters during the winter, which the government opens for the homeless. On the flip side, we have cooling shelters
Cooling
also in
centers.
the summers.
Cooling
Yeah.
centers.
It's not the supermarket. You don't go and hang out in the
No,
supermarket.
no. So yeah, Canada can get pretty hot.
So no, just on a lighter note, when I landed in the States, one thing that I used to absolutely thrive on was when you parked your car and you were walking to a store and you would cross the road and, you know, across a lane in the parking lot, the cars would stop for you, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
for a
Yes.
while, I would just keep crossing back and forth just to watch the cars stop without me putting my hand out to stop them. I thought that was the most hilarious thing. Or if people were actually opening the door for me, I'd kind of walk in and out just to have somebody open the door and close it, because I was thinking, if I was back home, somebody's going to, like, the door's going to land on my face.
Yeah,
So-
true that. When I come back to India, Roma, you better hold my hand as I'm going to walk into traffic straight.
Yeah.
And you know, all of you are much younger, and so you all have seen cars that actually have indicators. I grew up learning how to put my hand out of the window and, you know, making isharas, which when I came to the States, I had to literally learn. And I remember my brother-in-law saying, you know, the hand doesn't work here. You have to use the indicator. If you put your hand out, it's going to go away with the next car. So, you know, those kind of just little things that make the difference. But I think one thing that reminds everyone when you're out there, you become the eventual ambassador for your country. And I am amazed at the lack of knowledge people have about India. And sometimes you can whip up stories and completely take them on a wild goose chase. Because they have no clue.
They have no clue.
I still remember, and this is the eternal thing for anybody who goes abroad, you'll always have somebody asking me or asking you, well, why do you speak such good English?
Many times.
It used to irk me till I realized there's no point. Let's take the mickey out of these people. And I'd say, oh, you know, I had a really good teacher on the flight. That flight got me to speak English like this. Like, seriously?
Yeah, true that.
But yeah, and it's nice, you know, when you're out there, you're exotic because you're from India. You come home and then you're one of the million. That definitely was something that I enjoyed because I lived in a very lily white part of America. So, you know, you were Miss Exotic from India who had a last name Rodriguez. So they were completely confused.
Yeah, same here. Even our surnames get a lot of looks like D'Souza. Like, where are you from?
I felt like I had to almost validate my ethnicity and my origin and my life story. And you know, you add all kinds of things because you're thinking, they're not going to know. Seriously. Sorry, Roma. Go ahead.
No, ma'am, that's okay. I hope our students are listening to these points and thinking about when they go abroad to keep these points in mind.
One
I
more
would
thing,
like to
sorry,
ask.
I would like to
yes,
add.
yes.
Building up on what ma'am said about us being ambassadors of the country, I just thought that something that everyone and especially students should listen is it's very important to take that role seriously, that you are representing your country in everything that you do. And when you know you have that thing, I know it's very difficult to hear that, you know, Indians are not well mannered, they're very dirty, and that, remember, these things come from a place where people have actually experienced that, and it's up to us when we go out to new
change
countries, change that thing. So when you are here, you are on the spotlight. So behave in a way that you want the world to look at Indians as.
Right. Absolutely. Would you like to tell us about your job profile so that our students know, they're educated about what is the job profile that you all carry on?
Well, honestly, That's
So,
a very
so
interesting
to be
question.
honest, in hospitality, you don't have a job profile. Okay, you have to do each and everything. You have to be ready for
Right.
each and everything. I'm sure my other panelists will agree to this.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like with my job profile, my technical job profile when I started was at the front desk. So your basic stuff, taking a check-in, taking check-out, handling billings, handling groups, stuff, all of that. But over here, that's one thing that's nice. If you want to stick to your job profile, no one's going to look down on you. You're definitely not going to get promoted. You're not going to get a raise. You're not going to get more responsibilities. But if you want to stick to your job profile, I have people in my team who've been doing the exact same thing from the last 20 years. Literally from the last 20 years.
Ooh.
Not even kidding. Yeah, people have been 35 years, 40 years doing the exact same thing, which is good. Great. It gives you a nice steady paycheck. You don't have to worry. You get good personal, social, work-life balance, etc., etc. But if you want to grow more, you definitely have to take. And what COVID has turned my job into is basically everything that you need to run. I've done engineering, I've done security, I've done garbage, I've done front office, housekeeping, everything, like to the point
Wow.
where we are
Yeah.
policing the hotels, making sure that there is no undesirable coming in, cleaning up human shit. I swear I've done that. Cleaning up dog shit, picking up garbages from everywhere, delivering breakfasts, cleaning rooms, getting stuff ready, making sure the hotel's actually maintained, to the point where I've even started to learn basics of engineering now.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah,
Wow.
so yeah, that's something that COVID has done to us, which I have taken it in my stride. A lot of people in even in my team were like, this is not part of our job, why do we have to do it? Like, yeah, you guys can say that, I'm going to do it and just move on ahead. I'm going to sidetrack you guys.
Excellent.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Clearly
Yes.
agree with what Rinston has said right now. Yeah, the COVID, the post-pandemic period is going to be with different work cultures. For example, for me, I'll just share some thing that happened with me. Uh, I started out as an F&B attendant, so right ground into operations. You call me the hostess, you call me the bartender, you call me the attendant, each and everything. So I started out from that, but then as I was moving ahead, I focused more on sales. So sales is what I went into, and with my previous work experience as an executive, so the new thing that came up was work from home. So work from home is, I think, most of the sales guys, the one who are at the back, they are the one who are mostly focused on. So this is what I feel that never say no to any job that is there. As Riston said, he's doing a lot of other jobs, and I'm pretty much sure everybody has gone through that. When you can't say no to a thing that you don't want to do. This is what hospitality means. Hospitality means you got to be ready for whatever is thrown at you. So whatever is
And
thrown at you, you need to
build
make
up on
sure
your
you.
second year internship. Honestly, just build up on your second year internship.
Yes, yeah, the second year internship when everybody will go to the hotels, especially the Taj and the Oberoi, the Saharas, I am pretty much sure, and I want to thank Miss Annabelle for putting me through the Sahara Star again. Yes. I am really
Yeah.
honest here. That is where I got my ground reality. There are some things in life that you need to address. You need to see. Being as a student, a young student, it will be difficult for you to see the whole world. You need to have somebody who will push you over there and actually show it them. So then, as Richard said, he's doing a lot of things, and that is a very good attitude that he's carrying. And I think if people, any student, come into the hospitality sector stating that I will do whatever comes in my way, and I think those guys are going to be the winners. And those guys and you guys are going to be the one who I will be sharing my work with. Guys, please.
Exactly.
Clive
Well,
Jagrati.
yeah, well, when I started out, when I came here in Canada, for me, I had just done my graduation, so I did not have any work experience whatsoever. So to get a job in Canada with no work experience was very difficult for me during that time. Like I started out as a dishwasher, so I did dishwashing, serving, and cooking in the same small restaurant for almost a year. And through that, I worked my way up. And recently, I started my own ventures of designer cake and catering. Like where I am responsible for everything that I'm doing. Like I'm sourcing from raw materials to the delivery. Like I
Wow.
feel like
Wow.
I'm accountable for each and every customer that I serve, and I try to maintain the utmost quality that I can at that time. I mean, there was one thing that I remember, and I will remember throughout my life, that mediocrity can save you once, but your quality and your perfection will always help you in a long run, no matter what. Even if it takes time,
Wonderful.
just get there.
True chef. This is what true chef.
Chef.
You said
Yes.
perfection, quality, nothing else apart from that.
Me too.
Clive, would you like to highlight on your job profile?
Well, I've been always working at the front desk while I've started my career in India, in Canada. Uh, I can say this. I can say that if you're at the front desk, you cannot be doing front desk only because hotels like to cut. They don't like too many people. So one person at the front desk will have to pick up bags from the car. Even valet, like you have to drive a car and park it for someone if the valet is busy. Uh, as someone mentioned earlier, room service. Like if we have to do room service sometimes. We have to take orders for room service and deliver the food to the room. Front desk, and I work at the concierge and the front desk because it is a small hotel, but we have to do like airport booking, sightseeing tours, all getting people from one place to the other. Even reservation calls. If we are not busy, we will be in reservations doing bookings and booking for the hotel. But this year, the hotel has cut 2 staff short from the front desk because of COVID, and the occupancy levels are dropped because most of our clientele is Europeans and Americans, and they're not here this year. So the hotel is not busy, and we are doing more jobs in other departments than the front desk only. So,
Right.
yeah, you have to
Godwin,
do things.
sorry.
So basically, I worked as a head bartender recently for address, but I think it's not about the job position. It's about helping each other. Like if you see someone who is busy enough and you're free, so you go there and you forget about your position and just go and help. That's what you are meant to be as a hotelier. So it's like if you see the food runners are busy, so you go and you help them. You don't stay at the bar if you're a bartender and there are no drinks. So that's what we used to do always. So once the COVID thing happened, the steward, the whole department was like, okay, tata, bye bye. So we were basically the stewards. We had to go and wash the plates and the glasses. We also had to clean our own restaurant, which we never did before, but we had to. We had to. So that's a part of learning. So you get to learn more about the machines and everything from the steward aspect also. So that itself was a great learning.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree. I think when the colleges will start, and when in our college we'll have these different events that is going on. We have the different theme days going on, and I'm sure when Annabelle ma'am will be making those lists of segregating each one of them together. Again, so this is a message to all the students who are listening right now. Okay, don't matter. It doesn't matter where Annabelle man puts you. Okay? If she puts you into KST, you do it. If she puts you into chef, you do it. Because she knows everything about you without even you opening up a word. She will know. Okay, this
I
guy
can
is
attest to
about
that. I
this.
can attest to
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
definitely.
So to be really honest, for I think for one or two events, I think I was a part of the KST team. So.
One more thing that,
Yogesh
sorry.
resisted his potential. That's what it was, and I was sure I was going to drag it out of him.
One
Sorry.
thing that I want to tell the kids is I know you guys must be wondering how this happens and why the work culture is so different over here and our job descriptions are so different. But what you have to consider in mind is that labor over here is very expensive. So for companies to hire multiple people to do the same thing, it's very, very, very expensive. Case in point is, just as a clerk at the front desk, you can live your life comfortably. Not a luxurious life, but you can live your life comfortably. That itself would tell you how much you're going to earn, and that's how much businesses have to pay. So that's the entire reason why the job description thing is very important, because it's very expensive to hire someone to do anything over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am.
No,
Go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead, Yogesh. Go ahead.
No, and also, I wanted to add on to a point. As we have different departments that we need to stick to, and then we go ahead in our college life as well. So when you work abroad or when you work, in any field, it is easier for you to switch. For example, I came from an F&B, and then I switched on to sales and on together. And the same thing, I've seen a lot of people, switching from housekeeping to front office. I see a lot of, chefs as well, switching as well. So it is easier part, when you are working. But then as the only important thing about job descriptions is that, you stick to what you are good at. So if you are good at a particular thing, you stick to it. You don't just give up, like say 6 months or 8 months or a year. But you try and explore yourself and the job that you do, whether this is the good thing or whether you are good at something else. We have something called as cross trainings in each and every hotel as well. So when you do a cross training, you can definitely, while doing the same work, for example, if you're at the front office and you want to be cross trained into, say, a hygiene department, you can do that. So there is a possibility. So the job description, it all matters, until and unless, how you want to work as well. Animal ma'am.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to give you a little, just by, when you have a business, like Jagruti has, she will attest to it. When you said that you do every part of it, you have to be the bottle washer, the bookkeeper, the banker, obviously the front office person, you're making the food. If you do not do every aspect of it, then all of a sudden your employees suddenly become very, very indispensable. But if you know every part of it, then you can get an employee that you value because they know their job and you can show them the job. So if you are not flexible, I think anyone who's wanting to start a side hustle that is a business or going to get into business, if you are not flexible, not going to happen. Because that business, every single day that you start is the first day of your business. If you think, oh, I did fantastically yesterday, today I'm going to just relax. Sorry, suddenly your cash flow will be negative. So you have got to hustle every single day if you want to make it absolutely successful. Can't leave any room for anyone to creep in and take over. So
Yes.
Yeah,
Taking
I
it
completely agree with
yes.
Animal Ma'am because, sorry, Ruma, go ahead.
Yes. No, you continue.
Like whenever you come to abroad, it's not just Canada, America, or Dubai, but wherever you go, you need to be flexible in your job descriptions because tomorrow, if you don't have money, you need to do something in order to cover up your expenses. Like you don't have your parents or you don't have anyone else living around you. So financially, it does become a huge burden if you're not ready to be flexible. So my very big advice to students would be that they need to be flexible if they are planning to come abroad.
Yeah, and right now in this pandemic period as well, I feel even the companies that are hiring, they're hiring, they're hiring people with multiple, you can say, skills, multiple skill sets. Because right now, if you see in the market, the business is down, the companies have shrunken, and what they want right now is they're not willing to
Just
spend.
survive.
Yeah, they're not willing to spend. But then, even if they're willing to spend, they want to get the most out of it. So,
right.
for example, I very much want to thank Annabelle ma'am for introducing, French classes. I think it was in our batch. Speaking
Yeah.
speaking an additional language uh, in if you're going abroad, that's a high plus. Even I've heard that even in the same states like Goa, wherein they require Russian speakers as well. There's a lot of Russian business market going around.
Right.
In this post-pandemic, when we are going to start the journey, you need to be multi-skilled, not just with, for example, you concentrate on one aspect. You need to widen your horizon, wherein you know a different language as well. If you know a different language, it is the best. Sometimes in my field as well, the only language that I know is English, but then I've made sure that Hindi becomes a big aspect of me. The reason is because the people that I deal with, they are mostly from Indian background. So it is very easier for me to connect with them in Hindi. So that is again one aspect. And then I feel, uh, yeah, make sure that you are doing a lot of things in these 3 years of time. Don't just focus on one thing, do a lot of things, try and make sure that you get as much knowledge as possible, so that in the next 3 years, when you're ready to go out into the world, you are already equipped with all the weapons and artillery that you have.
Yeah,
Going
and
out
if you're coming to
with
North
the
America, to all the students, if you guys have the inclination to, go for Spanish. Like seriously, go for Spanish.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially Ontario and Toronto, go for Spanish.
Godwin, I would like to put a question to you. Just like how we spoke about language as an additional course, how important do you think like a WSET course helps you go ahead?
I think it's really very helpful to do add-on courses, even while you are in college. Because even when I was in my third year, I was still doing digital marketing from the third floor in the same
Yes.
college.
Yeah.
So it really helped me a lot to learn and know things much better. And after college, I did WSET, which really helped me because I really love beverages and I really wanted to get in. So I wanted a in-depth knowledge. So Andres sir really helped me out to figure out the WSET courses, and it really helps you to find good jobs, and it gives you a very good career growth. So anyone who's looking forward to do any courses, just don't think about it, go. And it's all about knowledge. You learn new things and you can implement in your work, or even if it's not related to your work, you can implement it to your next job or in your interview or something where you if you want to jump careers, it will really help you out.
Right.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about work and living abroad, we also want to talk about hobbies. Everyone carries their hobbies along. So, as I know, Clive, you like to start with talking about how you're carrying your hobbies into a different environment.
So since I've been moving places, like I've been living in different parts of Canada, I can elaborate more on Alberta because I've been here for 3 years now. And I started working in the mountains, it's the Canadian Rockies. And all you can do is hiking on your free time. So you go hiking up the mountains, just go. Hiking is the most, everyone does hiking. After hiking is biking, mountain biking. I don't mountain bike, but I do biking like when I go up the trails, but not downhill bike yet. Uh, the thing is, you do have a lot of time to get and do all your hobbies. Like mostly people will work 5 days maximum, 2 days you get off. Some places even have an option where you work 10 hours a day, 4 days a week, then you have 3 days off. That is a really good way to have hobbies. Like, and now since there's beautiful lakes around here, I also have a kayak. So kayaking is my thing now.
Oh, wow.
So kayaking, hiking, and gardening. And Canada, I mean, any country you go, there's something to do outdoor. Like Canadians like to camp, go camping and camping overnight, and they love their barbecues. So not like Indian tandoori barbecues, but they have their own vegetables and meat stuff. But yeah, like even cooking can be done. Like you will get, I mean, any part of the world you go, like you will find Indian stores everywhere now. So you get everything from, you name it, you have it here. Like I eat
For
Parle-G
sure.
biscuits every day.
Jagruti, I
Yeah.
would like to
Like,
ask you because,
yeah.
sorry, yes, ma'am. Yes.
No,
You've been, sorry, ma'am is saying, ma'am, you want to say something?
no, I'm waiting to hear all of
Yes,
Jagriti's
yes,
because
yes. So,
she was such a
Oh,
creative, font of creativity
yes,
when she
that's
was
it.
in
The
college.
new,
So,
like you're talking about your
so
art is
I
what is really beautiful. Yes,
you can see a painting on the
yes,
picture. So
yes.
I still do my paintings. When it's summers, I usually take my paint books. I go to the beach and I paint on the beach very peacefully. When it's winters, I just go
uh,
skiing. I mean,
Wow.
it just gives you that one break that you need outside your work. Like you work 5 days a week, but you need something to relax your mind as well as your body, so that you can you can function well when it comes to the next week. So I feel like everyone needs to have some kind of hobby, and especially when you're in a new country, like you need to upgrade your life skills to survive
Yes.
altogether. So yeah, definitely.
All right. Yogesh, we've been
Yeah.
knowing that back end you have been you doing innovative cocktails. So are you still following that?
Oh,
You've got
yes,
details.
definitely, definitely. I thank Andre sir for this, for getting the bartender out of me, uh, because the cocktails and all. Because what happened is when when I used to have these events in college, preparing cocktails and all. So when I came over here to Abu Dhabi, I switched on to a role of bartender as well. And as we were speaking about earlier, that you need to be ready for everything. So, for example, I'll just give a short example. What happened is there was a big event one of the days, a big event around 200 packs event that we had, and just 3 hours before, our bartender goes sick, and he's the one who's already handling everything, and I'm sure everybody on the panel will agree these are normal situations for us. 200 packs, 1000 packs, we have people going missing. So in these situations, we need to we need to be ready, and the people over there look up to us to step ahead and possibly do the things that we wouldn't have thought of. So yes, Andre sir, who helped me a lot with FNB, and I was able to be ready for the job. And yeah, the good part is that after you do a job that is not for you, you get a lot of recognition as well, and then that's how you make your way ahead in the hospitality sector. Yeah, yeah. Jagruti is laughing. She agrees with me. Yeah.
I do. I completely agree with you, Yogesh, because I exactly remember this instance that you're talking about, and I can actually recall, and it's like a trip down the memory lane for me. So it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, and regarding the hobbies thing, right now, what I feel is we need hobbies. I am a person who does not believe in working all the time. Okay, you need to switch off. You need to know when you are switching on, and you need to know when you switch off. So that is very important. So when you switch off from your life, I remember Melroy Chef. Melroy Chef, he's really good at switching off and doing his own thing. So
Right.
all you guys over there are very blessed to have Chef Melroy as well. We would be very much happy to share his experience with you guys. And because when you switch off and when you are in a good happy place, or possibly you're doing something that you like, for example, what I like is I like seeing new things. I like to go whatever unknown place, see different thing, and see different people, meet with them. you know that is what is required, and then you can make sure that make your hobby as as a business. For example, we have most of the chefs right now who are making their hobby, turning it into a business, making millions and millions. And
Wow.
Yogesh, you know what? Honestly, my hobby before entering Don Bosco was pastry and confectionery. And when I came here, I actually made a career out of it, and I am enjoying it. It's amazing. It's thrilling. So if you make your hobby your dream job, it's amazing.
All right. So we strongly believe that Don Bosco chooses his people, whether it's in the form of staff or student. Will you all like to elaborate and tell us about your connect with Don Bosco College of Hospitality Studies? Each one of you.
Well, honestly, I still remember the first time I stepped into Don Bosco College was way, way back before I even started working over there. I came as a student, and there was nothing for miles around, and that really affected my decision of going to Don Bosco as a student. I was like, nope, there is nothing over here. I'm going to starve. But yeah, then, few years later, when I came back, I reconnected with Andre sir once I was done with my studies and everything, and he invited me to meet the entire team at Don Bosco's. And honestly, it never felt like an interview. It was just like, yeah, you're in. You're part of the family now, for better or for worse. And yeah, looking back at my 4 years at Don Bosco was pretty amazing. It was so amazing, and I knew I wanted to go to Canada, and the biggest fear that I had was not the visas and not the whole process and going to a new country and how am I going to get settled. And yeah, that was all there. But my biggest fear was, crap, how do I tell this to Annabelle ma'am now? I still remember that day. I called up Elenka ma'am, I called up Roma. I'm like, okay, so this is the situation. What's the plan now?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was fun times. But yeah, after we got to the initial bomb, and it was very, very, very hard to see that, I'm not going to get up and go back to my same classroom and my same table. And it was a very emotional moment when I had to clear up my 4 years worth of crap that had filled all over the place. But yeah, with Don Bosco's, once you're part of the Don Bosco family, you're never really out of the Don Bosco family. No matter you go halfway across the world, you are part of that family always, and that's a family that you can always count on. And my last year before I came to Canada and before everything happened and my life looked so rosy and pretty on all the pictures, well, honestly, I had some pretty tough times before I came over here. And without my team, without ma'am and my close team, I don't think I would have got through all of the troubles that I had at that time. And that's something I will never forget.
So sweet.
Like I still remember when college used to start, everyone was so scared of two people, mostly Animal Ma'am and Elanka Ma'am. Like whenever they even walk through the corridors, it's like the whole room is just quite shut. Like no one's
I
gonna talk because you never even get into session. You never even have to go to an ODC after that just because there's something. I mean, me, Don Bosco kind of played a vital role in my growth, and it has helped me to reach where I am right now. Like, it wouldn't have been possible without my college, my professors, my parents. In fact, it was their constructive criticism, and that has brought out the best in me because I remember Animal Ma'am yelling at me when the college initially started, you need to do this, you need to get your head straight. And I respect it so much today when I go back thinking of those things that yes, like this was like this was something that was needed for me. And whoever students are listening right now, if Animal Ma'am is being hard on you, please don't take it as a bad. Please don't take it in as a bad way, but
she's just being
appreciate it.
sweet,
And
right?
You're
I have
making me walk down the memory
responsibility
lane.
and
Honestly, Don Bosco will seriously give you that skills that you need. I mean, even as a faculty, a person who's supposed to dispense learning, I learned so much at Don Bosco's. In my 4 years over there, I, as a faculty member, I learned so much.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
nice.
and even I'd like to add on to it because actually what happens is, when you are going to the industry, you have small things that you need to fine tune yourself. The smallest of small things, for example, every morning when you guys will be having a grooming check, when Clive sir will be coming and checking your grooming, right from the small nails to right whether your shoes are polished, and then Annabelle ma'am will check whether all your journals are properly written and nobody has copied from anybody. Nobody has done, work from home kind of thing. So that all things definitely matters because they shape yourself, in such a way that you are already, you know, ready to go out into the industry. And also, the best part is that, Don Bosco has such experienced faculty, right from Nixon sir, Susan ma'am, Clive sir, we have Milroy chef, we have, I'm sorry, Ilenka ma'am, how could I forget Ilenka ma'am, Andre sir, Roma ma'am, we have so much experienced staff who have already been there and done that. So they've already been in a position where, they already know what is needed. So the only thing for us is to follow them. And the good thing is that, if any of the students, hospitality means creativity. You have to be out of the box each and every time. So you have the right mentors, you have the right teachers, who will give you fine tuning. Okay, this is the idea that you've got. You can make it even better by fine tuning these little things. So I feel the faculty is one of the best. And to be honest, I've been following a lot of hospitality institutes in Mumbai as well, and I don't think anybody else is doing how much as Don
Yeah,
Bosco is doing.
exactly.
Yeah, I
I don't
am
see
I
so
am
many
on a
posts
lot
from
of
anyone else.
I am on a lot of Facebook pages. I don't want to name the institutions right now because competitors, but a lot of institutions over there who are doing it. But then I think DBC is always different, and they're doing it their way. And I'm really really honored to be a part of it. I know 3, 4, 5 years behind, I had different opinions, but then I remember what Annabelle ma'am said, and now I realize, Annabelle ma'am, thank you so much.
Honestly,
Thank you.
building up on Yogesh, yeah, we used to have a lot of different opinions when we were back as students. I can understand some of the things like, why do I have to do these ODCs? I don't need money. Why do I have to write my journals? I'm never going to bother looking at them. What honestly it's doing for you guys is, yeah, you may never have to write a journal in your life again after you graduate. But basically what it's doing is for you is it's making you so tough that you can handle something else that comes of that same caliber. It's making you strong.
Clive and Godwin.
Well, all I can say is that it was a good decision, and like all the way from I traveled. I mean, not traveled, but I moved from Nashik to Bombay, and then I was Don Bosco was family because I was away from family and all professors. Everybody super nice. Never had any complaints. I was nice too.
Very.
That.
For me, it
And
was like
Very.
sorry.
yeah, and also with the internships and job placement, I think the college is doing a really good job. They helped me in the beginning, got a good job with ITC Maratha, and then moved on. And yeah, thanks to everyone. And Don Bosco has been really helpful always and is doing a good job now. Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
For
Godwin.
me, it was like a life-changing experience. I might say that ma'am would know that because when I came, I was the most mischievous. I think, like among the most mischievous. So ma'am actually pulled my ear and made me straight. So it's like a rehab. You come to Don Bosco and you change.
Well, I wouldn't call it a rehab, but okay.
Godwin.
So the experiences were really nice. It really taught me good values in life and made me really strong as a human. So I can take a lot of criticism from anyone right now because I have been through that, doing detentions and making my hand dirty. So I don't really mind doing any job or anything
Yeah.
at my workplace. So that's the values that I've received from Don Bosco. Very thankful for that.
Yeah. And apart from the things that we go from the colleges, I just remembered one thing that Ma'am Annabelle and the whole of faculty, we used to have these different events that used to come in. For example, the entrepreneur program that was there for TYs, which is there. And then again, I remember we had the Trinity College coming in for the English.
English.
Yeah. So I actually gained a lot because of that. Because before me flying to Dubai, I was actually about to go to another country and I needed IELTS for that. So that certification that was done in the college for Trinity College, I was doing it with Miss Elenka ma'am. Miss Elenka ma'am, if you're listening, thank you so much. I still owe you.
Is she on with us?
Yes,
She
yes.
is. She'll
Cheers.
be. Yes.
Cheers.
I am
I
flying on
heard
cloud
that.
number 9 now. With your cloud number.
Where are you? Where are you hiding?
You don't need to see my face. You just see my voice.
No, I would love to see your face.
We will leave that for
Really,
later. You owe me big time for what you just said. I
yes,
became
definitely.
the shield of
Really,
Thor's
like-
hammer and Thor's shield on that fateful morning when you broke in the wonderful
Yes,
news.
yes,
Don't you
yes.
laugh. Don't you laugh. But all the best to all of you, and it was amazing to hear all of you speak. So really happy and so proud of all of you guys. Really.
I'm just going to
Yes.
add how I
Thank you so
landed
much.
up in Don Bosco too, because, honestly, and I look at every single staff member, I remember the call I got to say, would you like to come to Don Bosco Vidya Vihar? I had no idea where Vidya Vihar was. To be a little bit of a South Bombay person, your life ended at Bandra and Santa Cruz. So beyond that, you were like, okay. When I finally did come, I remember, like Kristen, it was the dark ages in the early years of 2000. For me, it was 2010. Landed in this place called Vidya Vihar and then landed in the college. It was a shock. And I remember wanting to leave and Elenka ma'am coming and saying, you're not leaving, right? You're going to join us. I looked at her with absolute shock and thought, really? I don't know, but I'll just say yes for now. But it was a blessing. I thank the Lord for bringing me here, giving me this opportunity to be able to, get the college to where it is today. For Father Colbert giving me a complete free hand, and extremely encouraging to make sure that we now have the kitchens that we do and the infrastructure that we do. But for me, that was not my primary aim for wanting to teach. Being that I'm single and I've not had kids of my own, it was necessary for me to leave a legacy of some sort. And my legacy was to make sure that the youth that I came in and I was part of their journey, I left some impact. The impact that I was fortunate to have as having an amazing family and my education and world experience and, having been in the business, I wanted to bring all that and actually have a platform where I would have all these children out into the world being successful and, and I think that is the reason why it just gets harder with each year. When you come in the first year, I'm a little kinder in the beginning, and then we start getting a little tougher because I see in each one of you this amazing potential, and it drives me completely, as I say, bananas when you kind of miss the mark of reaching and going beyond your potential. And so most of the kids who graduate initially, the first 2 years, all you're doing is resenting me. But the idea is that I'm so hard on you because I know the world that you're going into is even tougher. And you have to be ready. And eventually, like Yogesh, it is such a joy to see you, Jagrati, Clive, Godwin, and Ristin, you are my boy. So to see you so successful. Us at Don Bosco, we were just there for those 3 years as part of your journey. But what you have accomplished is individually your own, your tenacity, what you have taken away from what we have taught you and used it in your lives. And that's why you all are where you all are. We are just privileged to be part of that journey for those 3 years. And I look at each and every single member of staff. Don Bosco brought them here to all of us. And I think each one of you were brought to Don Bosco because you were blessed to be in this environment and have the kind of, literally the covering, the shield, the love for the rest of your lives. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Don
I would agree
Bosco
that because
staff is like a symphony together,
yes,
running in orchestra.
I have a double
You
privilege
just
from Don
simply put it
Bosco.
there.
Yeah, you
I,
enjoyed it.
I have a double privilege from Don Bosco because he called me to be a student and now as a faculty, and that's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Ma'am Annabelle, for that.
They were my girls. They were my first girls. And I have a cup with these 6 girls, and I protected them like with my life, because there was a class of 100. No, you all were a class of
We were
90 or
Mumbai.
120.
120, but YC and Mumbai. YC
Yeah,
and
and
Mumbai.
how many girls? There were only 20 girls for both the batches, or less than that.
Both the batches, lesser than that, like a 14.
Yeah, 14. Can you imagine? Oh, the poor things. So I used to guard them with my life. And, poor Roma, I gave her a hard time. I made her work a few years extra before she came to teaching. But it's been an absolute joy, Roma.
Thank you, ma'am. So we've come at the end of the session. Thank you so much for giving and sharing your inputs with us and letting our students know how to actually follow their dreams if they want to go and work abroad. Would you like to let them know any message that at the end, if they want to go ahead and work abroad or settle over there, live as a global citizen?
Honestly, the last thing I would like to tell all the students is that moving abroad may seem very difficult. It may seem very nice, and the truth is somewhere in between. Simple stuff like racism. If you think that you have this perception of Canada being like the politest, sweetest country in the world, but yeah, racism exists. It exists. It's definitely not something that's there like in Australia or the States, but yeah, it does exist. So the truth is not always on point. If you see, it's an expensive place to live. You are going to be out of touch with a lot of people that you care about. You are going to be alone. I'm telling you guys that it is there. The weather is harsh. It is crazy harsh. But once you get over all of that, this country that I've seen in the last few months, it's not even been a year for me. It's going to be a year in October. It rewards hard work. You put in that effort, you put in, like, just go get what you want, and this country will give it to you. And that is one thing, unfortunately, kind of Indian hospitality lacks, is where you put in the hours, you can work your ass off, and you will still not get recognized. You will not get recognized over here. Every minute is valuable. You can put in as many hours as you want. Like, for example, yeah, today morning, I just finished a 12-hour overnight shift, and my boss asked me, would you be able to stay back? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I ended up doing a 14-hour straight shift. without
Oh,
breaks and everything. Yeah, this has been my normal life from the last 4 or 5 months, doing 14 hours. There's been one day where I've done 16 hours straight, and forget about breaks and everything. It's just you are working, working, working. But the beautiful part is that for every minute that you're spending at work, you get compensated for that. You get compensated. It's not like, okay, here's the money, I don't care, you work 14 hours, 12 hours, 10 hours, it's all the same. No, you get recognized, you get compensated. And if you want to build your career, if you put in that hard work, it will happen in one of these countries. Unfortunately, India kind of lags behind in hospitality, sorry, lags behind in that. So that's an amazing thing over here. So if you guys want to move to, I can't say about other countries, I've never been there, but if you guys want to move to Canada, once you get over that initial hurdles, you can be rest assured that you have a wonderful future over here. You can actually think about raising a family. You can actually think about that, the whole idea that you have with a house and a backyard and a car in the driveway, the little playpen for the kids and stuff like that. That is actually possible. Try and imagine doing that in Mumbai. You're sure as hell not going to be able to do that. So that is actually possible over here. Those kind of things, those dreams are still there. But yeah, you are going to go through hell before you get that. A very cold hell, but nevertheless, you'll it'll be there. So if you guys put in the effort and you, like I said, research, make a plan, get your financials in order, there is no reason why each and every one of you guys cannot come to this exact same position that we are at right now. And the biggest thing I am telling you is, again, because we've always insisted, even as faculty members, is you do not underestimate the power of the English language. Like, whatever we are over here is to a very strong degree because of the English language. For example, my boss, her parents were HVAC engineers. Her mother was a HVAC engineer on the train throughout China, and she never managed to get that same position back over here. Not because of skills, not because of money, simply because she did not know how to speak English. Her only language of conversation was Mandarin. Because of that one thing, she never got the chance to get her old career back. So do not underestimate the power of the language. English is the most common language. North America is going to be English. You are going to get opportunities to speak Hindi. I've spoken Marathi over here also, so you're going to get that. But please use your 3 years to develop your English skills to a point where you can speak better English than a native Canadian. That will be your biggest tool.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
and sorry, Yogesh, go ahead.
sorry, Jagruti. No, I cannot interrupt you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So as he said that it's correct. Like you have to go through a lot of hardships, no matter whichever country you choose. But at the end of the day, when you go through all that hardship, your the fruit that you get, it's so much more sweeter than what you would actually want it to be. So never ever give up on your dreams and believe in them and work towards them to make them accomplished. I mean, that should be your goal. And thank you so much, Roma ma'am and Annabelle ma'am, for making
thank you.
all of this happen, all the faculties and staff at Don Bosco.
We're so proud of you guys. There's no
Yes.
question about it. This is going to make me beam for a long time. Yogesh, sorry.
Yeah. So for me, I prepared a bit of information for all the guys who are listening to it right now. So as I've been in the UAE, I've been in two cities, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. So I'll speak more about what you can, how I can help you if you want to join over here. So what happens is there are a lot of job opportunities. If you go through Google or if you go through a lot of websites, there are a lot of scams going on. So first of all, a humble request to all the students over there: don't fall in for any scams. Wherein they have agencies, they say you have to pay so much money and then come over here. no, don't ever fall in for such scams. If you're at the end place and you're desperately trying to come over here, please go to my FB page. You contact me. I would be able to assist you better as well. But don't ever fall in for scams. Secondly, if you guys are thinking of starting your global adventure, as I say, starting a global adventure, start it when you are in your college itself, in your third year, when you would be in your Sem 5. Sem 5 will give you a very good example of how what you are basically. You start your preparations. It is not just an overnight thing that you have to do. You have to start your preparations from your college as well. Get to know the companies. Basically, when you will be having interviews for your, I'm not getting
placement. Yeah.
Yeah, your placements. Yes, when the placement would be coming in, so that is the time as well. You will get a good gesture as to what you are capable of. Make sure that you are giving as much interviews as possible. Make sure that you are in contact with different people to get their views as to how it will be beneficial for you to locate from one place to the other, because it's not just for all us youngsters, even we it sounds very very gloomy, going to a different country, exploring the place. It sounds very gloomy, as we see how in the social media. It's complete opposite of that. So you need to go through a lot of struggles, but then these are not struggles, as I say. These are learning times. You get to know how not to do things as well. So this is very important. You make sure that you will fall down. A lot of people will say no. A lot of people will say no. This is not how it is done. So don't think as negative. Think as ways that okay, this is how not it should be done. And secondly, as I'm a family guy, I believe in my family. The only thing that I am over here is because of my family out there. So so when you want to come to the Gulf, I'm sure Godwin will also agree with me. If you want to come to the Gulf, make sure that you research the companies that are currently over here, the different properties that are there, hospitality properties, like we have Accor, we have Jumeiras, we have the Address, we have Marriott, we have all the companies. Make sure that you know every company that is there. You start applying, but I wouldn't recommend anybody to come through an agent, because the company itself pays for your allowance, everything, right from your flight ticket, right to your accommodation. Each and everything is taken care by the company. The only thing that you need to have is you need to have a different skill set with you. You need to be prepared. You need to be the best of the best. That is one message that I wanted to give. The third message again is that when you want to come over here, and start and explore your career over here, make sure that you don't deviate when you've already started the career, because I've seen a lot of people gone abroad, who've gone to a place 2-3 years down the line, they say I quit, because this is the harsh industry for sure. This industry is not for anybody who's weak. If you are weak, you are shown the door for sure. So give it 110%, right till the brink that it changes. And lastly, I think everybody who's in Don Bosco right now are so really fortunate that they have a really, really, I think the experience of 3 years will be with you guys for the rest of your life for sure. So just enjoy the experience rather than being very studious. You know what, you have to be studious at one part, and then again you have to enjoy your life as well. So make sure that you mature enough before you come to different countries. Mature enough, get as much knowledge as you want, and then venture out.
I
Clive?
second what Yogesh said about
Sorry.
scammers and stuff like that. And you have to be super, super careful, especially in times right now. Everybody, literally everybody is hard on cash right now, and people are not about using whatever means possible to try and take away other people's hard-earned money. So at any point of time, you guys, if you want to come here or something like that, you see an organization, you see a college, you see an agent, it triggers a red flag. At any point in time, just drop an email, or Roma ma'am has my number. If I could trouble you, just you guys can just forward stuff for us to check it out, because we are on the other side. We get a more clearer perspective of whether the person or the agency or the company is actually legitimate.
Clive or Godwin, would you like to give some message to our students?
So all I can say is whenever you'll go, wherever you go, I mean, just be open-minded, be open to learn everything that you can, and and also blend with everybody, like all different cultures, like everybody works with all different. Do not stick with Indians only. That's a problem, but yeah, it will take a while. But if you blend in with every different people, your network will increase. And also, it is nice to have a LinkedIn account for all the students in college right now. Have a LinkedIn account and keep updating it as you keep working, which will help you in your future with getting jobs and build your network. And lastly, I would say start doing dishes and your laundry at home, because there's no
We're
time.
doing a lot of that over here.
A vital part.
Yeah. So like I said, North America labor is very expensive. So if you want someone to come and freaking fix your dishwasher, oh my God, be prepared to pay it. So it's at some points it's cheaper to get a new appliance rather than to get it fixed. So you have to know everything.
True. True.
True. Okay. Godwin.
I totally agree with everyone, what everyone said, all good points. But I would rather say wait for the right opportunity. Do not rush into something. You need to figure out everything about how you're going to live there. It's your life. You're going to go over there and live. So you need to figure out everything. So before you go, take your time, take a very good experience, back yourself up with everything that you need to live over there. So you can go and you can just rely on yourself. So you need to be very prepared when you go to another country, because you don't have anyone over there. You don't have a family. Like, you have to do your own laundry. Yeah, that's the part of it. You have to do everything for yourself. So just be prepared, be strong, and don't fall into scams. Like, we all are there on social media. You can connect with us and find out. We are always there to help you out. So don't worry about anything, but just wait for the right moment.
Thank you. Any of our students would want to ask some question? You can raise your hand, please.
I thought there was one that had asked
Yes,
a long time
Chris.
ago.
Chris.
Chris.
Chris, you can ask a question.
Yeah, guys, go ahead, shoot off your questions. You've seriously caught me at a good time. I'm hardly ever present, so make use of that.
I guess
No,
Chris
I've
had put
asked
up his
him
hand
to.
at the beginning of
Yes. Yes.
the, and we continued till the end. So
Right.
Okay, so
Ask
one
him to
more thing I
unmute.
want to tell you guys,
Hello.
especially with the
I
Yeah.
think he's
Oh,
here.
Chris is
Yes.
on?
Yes.
Not Chris, sir.
Oh.
Good afternoon, sir. It's Josiah.
Josiah, how
Josiah,
are
Josiah.
you? Oh my God.
Yes,
It's
sir.
been a long
Long
time.
time. Uh, First of all, greetings to you, sir. I hope you're doing very well in Ontario. So I just wanted to know, like, as there are three people over here from Canada. So I just wanted, like, which state like has a better environment, like in terms of, because there's like a really harsh environment when compared to like when it comes to cold or something, because Toronto and Alberta, and also if someone is besides these two states.
Okay. So,
I would. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead,
Sorry.
Jagrati. Go ahead. You've been here longer than me.
No, I
You're
was just going
better prepared.
No, so if you see weather-wise, I would say Vancouver is one of the regions where they don't have a lot of snow, and it's quite nice and humid, and it's a good temperature really. But if you're looking to go ahead in life, you need to, like, I would suggest you to come to Toronto, because they have a lot of opportunities open for everyone. It's kind of the main, it's a financial hub, so there are a lot of job opportunities. There's everything, you can explore a lot over here. And in terms of money also, like when you get paid in the city, it's quite high
It's
scale
much higher,
than what
much
you
higher.
get paid otherwise. So I would suggest, but you need to do your research more. And if you have questions, please shoot it up on Facebook, and I would be really happy to help you out.
So Josiah, with the weather, I know it's a big concern and it's one of the reasons that puts off people coming to Canada. But you also have to realize that the weather is difficult, but you also have people living here perfectly normal lives. Yeah, it's hard. You have to be prepared. There is always a chance that if you're not dressed correctly, you might lose a finger or a toe. It's not something. It's not something that is. I have seen newcomers make that mistake. uh, all you have to do is seriously to combat the weather is dress appropriately. That is all. That is seriously all that you need to worry about the weather is dress appropriately. Yeah, like Jaguzi said, Vancouver is pretty sweet when it comes to the weather. Toronto is not so much. It's especially because of the lake. Downtown gets very cold, and because of all the buildings, downtown basically is a wind tunnel. It's freezing cold at times. But as long as you're dressed appropriately, every business, even the public transports, are either air conditioned or heated. So honestly, for me coming here, the weather was, yeah, it is a small inconvenience. It is not something that you really have to get so worried about. It's fine.
Just to
That's
introduce
also.
Josiah to the rest of the panel that hasn't met him, he's our resident student videographer, and puts the most amazing videos up of all our events.
Well.
So thank you, Josiah.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you, Ristan sir, and thank you, Jagruti, ma'am, for helping me out. Yes, looking forward to it.
Thank you, Josiah. Is there anyone else who has a question? You can simply unmute yourself and you can ask the question.
Good morning, all. This is Savio Paul. Vishal sir, I had a doubt that what are the point system to come there? Can you explain a bit of that in not in detail but in a brief?
Okay. So it's obviously a huge long process when you decide to come to Canada. First thing you have to decide is what you're coming here for. Are you going to come here to stay forever, or you want to come here just for studies, or you want to come here to study, work for a bit, and go back? So once you've got that set up, there are different types of visas for each process. You go to the Canadian government website and read through it like 10 times, and you will seriously see every step very, very clearly, methodically explained. Build a checklist based upon that steps. You have a lot of documentation to go through before you're even eligible to apply. Forget about your application being approved. Before you're even eligible to apply, build a checklist, work on that checklist. You have to have money, no doubt about that. It cost me, like for my PR, it cost me close to 15 lakhs, I would say. It's a big number, but the actual application process, the fees that I paid were somewhere around 4 to 5 lakhs. The rest of the money is something called as your proof of funds. Basically, the Canadian government doesn't want bums coming to the country and feeding off the resources. You have to have, I think so, for two people we had to have $16,000, which roughly comes up to around 8 to 9 lakhs depending upon the conversion. So that's one thing that you have to earn. That's again something that you can't just transfer in money, because they ask for your bank financial records from the last 6 months. You have to make sure that that's something that's built up. You can't just ask family members, okay, just dump your money in my account for some time and then I'll give it to you back. Does not work that way. So yeah, you got to have that. Obviously, your basic documents like your passport and stuff like that, your police clearance. You have to make sure that you do not have any criminal background. Job offers help. I didn't have a job offer when I came here, so living proof that it's possible. But yeah, they do help. Coming here as a couple rather than as a single person again helps big time, because it was my wife's nursing degree that actually put us over that points threshold, and because of which we could come here. So again, big thing, if you guys are planning to do masters or something like that, for the specific intention of coming to a different country, make sure that your degree is actually recognized by that country. One of the best ways to do that is this organization called WES, that's World Education Services or something like that, because that's what the Canadian government, you have to send all your documents to WES, and they then create a whole equivalency thing and they send it to the Canadian Immigration Services, who then give you points based upon that education. So if you're planning to do masters, make sure that you take a look at WES and see what your actual degree, and more than the degree, is the college and the university actually recognized. So that's something that's very important. So you follow these steps, it is going to take you guys a good 5 years if you have not started already to build up the funds, build up the experience. My 4 years that I had in Don Bosco, one thing that the Canadian government wants in as a PR is 3 years of unbroken work experience. And I say unbroken work experience in one straight industry, not like 1 year here, 2 years there, 3 years somewhere else. No, it needs 3 years of unbroken experience to get the maximum number of points. It's all a numbers game. Okay, so that's the basic idea, that a simple basic checklist that you would have to have.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I would just like to add in Savia. Sorry for interrupting.
Savia.
Yes. So for anyone who wants to come to Canada and on basis of study, visa, or work, or on permanent residence, there is one site which you need to know, that is cic.gc.ca. It will give you all the information that you need, and you won't need to go to any agent whatsoever. You can do all of this at home. And right now, when it's COVID time, you're at home, please do your researches. Do not fall into anyone who is going to tell you, oh, I can get you there, because it does not happen that way. It
Yeah, the
is
government
illegal,
doesn't
and you
recognize
won't be
any
able to stay in the
agents.
country.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
a
I hope
lot, Dr.
everybody's taken a note of the website, cic.gc.ca.
gc.ca. It's basically the government's national website. And
Uh-huh.
IRCC is the organization that you're going to deal with the immigration, refugees, and citizens thing. IRCC, that's the governmental agency that you're going to deal with for getting a visa.
Okay, thank you so much. Anybody else has any questions?
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
I'm Kevin speaking. I have a question for Jagruti ma'am.
Sorry, one second. Sorry. Annabelle ma'am, is it okay if they switch on the videos? It's just that I've
Yeah,
not
yeah,
seen you
please,
guys from
please,
so
please.
long. I just love to
Kevin,
see
put
their
on your
faces.
video.
Yeah,
Kevin?
sure ma'am. I'm right now like a mess. So
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It's so
hello
You're
nice to
everyone.
fine,
see your
Kevin.
faces.
Yes, yours. Yes, Kevin, tell us.
My question is for Jagruti ma'am. Like she said, she went to Canada after finishing her graduation. So with all due respect, I mean no offense, like can you just tell us like approximately how much did you spend with the tuition fees, accommodation, and the flight and everything? If it's all right with you.
Okay, approximately. First thing is, you don't have to pay the whole fees upfront. It is divided into sections. So you have 4 different semesters. For me, it was 4 different semesters because I had a course for 2 years. So for every semester, you can pay accordingly. You don't have to pay it together. So that is a big relief that you get. But so I did a course in hospitality as well as pastry together, and for me it costed around $30,000, which is approximately around 15 lakhs, I would say. But it's not that you have to pay it at one shot, but you have the time. And also, when you come here as a student, you also get a work permit along with it. So you have the opportunity to work and earn that kind of money also. But yeah, it is expensive. I wouldn't say no, it is expensive. But there is something that you can do to cover that up.
Okay, thank you.
But
And I wanted to
Jagruti,
ask
sorry
another question.
if I'm mistaken, even with your student work permit, there's a limitation on the number of hours, right, that you can work.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
and I'm so
so
sorry.
keep that in mind.
I should have
Yeah.
said that. So
Because if you
with
think that you're going to work like for the whole day and make as much money, that's not possible. So there's a limitation on the number
so
of hours. So factor that into your
you can work
finances.
for like, oh sorry. So you
Yeah,
can
go
work for
ahead.
20 hours a day, and when you're not when you're not studying, like when you have your summer breaks or something, that is the time you can work for 40 hours a week,
Okay.
or you can go above that, and that is fine. But when you are studying full time, you can't log more than 24 hours, and because you have everyone has their own SIN number, it is recorded directly and it goes to the government. So
Okay.
there have been a lot of cases where students have been sent back because they did not have money, they were working continuously, and the government does not want the student to exhaust themselves just on working, but the government wants the students to even learn from it. So yeah, like this is one condition that is there, but it's quite workable.
Okay.
Also, when you
And
apply for a student visa, you need, I'm not sure if it's still applicable, but you need to deposit $10,000 into a bank, and that's your proof of funds just in case you're not having a job. So the bank will give you monthly installments. It comes around $600 every month. So in case you're unable to find a job, then that's your money for living expenditure.
And if you guys are looking for banks, I have personally dealt with RBC, that is Royal Bank of Canada. Never had an issue at all till now. So all of my accounts, my savings accounts, my credit cards, debit cards, everything's been with RBC. So if you're looking for a bank that you can trust, that's one I can attest to.
Jagruti ma'am, do you give any GRE, IELTS, or TOEFL exam?
Yeah, so you need to give your IELTS exams in order
Okay.
to come here as a student. And you at least need a 6.5 band and above in each in order to qualify. And it also depends on what kind of courses you take, because accordingly your English language proficiency is calculated. So you need to see what courses you're going into, what proficiency do they need. You need to research on that, you need to check on that, but you do need to give IELTS, like no matter what, if you're coming to Canada.
IELTS is your basic easiest exam. For I'm not sure about the academic one. I don't know if colleges need that, but for the basic PR, that what I did, basic IELTS is fine. And yeah, you need like the basic scores are there out there, but honestly, go for a 9. 9 is the maximum that you can get in IELTS. I got 9 in three of the ones, and in writing I got 8.5 because you get proportionally higher points for that. So yeah, you'll qualify with a 6.5 or 7.5, but you won't get that many points.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yep,
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. This is Sarah. First of
Hello.
all, it's really, really nice seeing you, sir, after so long.
I know it's been a while.
Yeah. And my question is to Mr. Clive and Mrs. Jagruti. Miss Jagruti is basically I'm also planning on studying. So my question is like the thought, because we don't do a part time in Mumbai. So my first question is like, does it affect you in any way with your studies while you're doing a part time? And also, how much can you afford like your lifestyle over there while you're working with your wage that you get?
Um, so, well, the wages are quite, so here you get paid on an hourly basis. And if you're doing 40 hours a week or so, you can live a comfortable life. You don't have to work for 13 hours, 14 hours straight just to make your home up and running. You really don't need to do that. Everything here is, and things here are not that, like, it's not that cheap, but they're not even that like expensive if you're earning in Canadian dollars and spending in Canadian dollars, then it makes it worth it.
Okay.
honestly, with living
also depends which
expenses, like
state.
I said, you can find haircuts for $40, you can find haircuts for $10. So as a student, go for the cheaper options always. Find cheaper options, it's always there. You just have to look about, it's always there, and you can live within your means, honestly.
Clive was saying something, Clive.
So every state has its own minimum wage of hourly wage. So depending where you live and study, you'll be usually when you're working at a part-time job, you'll be paid the minimum, maybe $1 more. But every state you can look up online. Every state has its own minimum wage. How much is it in Ontario? I'm not too sure right
Ontario,
now.
it's 14.
14.
Yeah. So just to give you a
14.35.
fair idea, if you're doing 40 hours a week, obviously you guys will be doing 20. If you're doing 40 hours a week and you're a couple, because that's a calculation that I had done before coming here, if you're 40 hours, $14, 40 hours a week, both partners, the couple is working, you can live a comfortable life.
And also remember, the more money you make, the more money you pay the government.
Oh yeah, true that.
That is
Taxes are
true.
something that you have to factor in over here a lot.
Like even if you come here as students, you still need to file for your taxes from the first year that you have been here. In India, we don't really pay any taxes being students, but here that it's not the same. You need to pay taxes every single year. And you also get some discounts because you are a student, you pay a lot of heavy taxes to the government as international students. So that is where your funds kind of help you in. And that is how your taxes kind of cut down if you are planning to study ahead.
For me, it was pretty
Uh,
sweet. This year, I got a tax refund actually of almost $1,200. So
Wow.
you file your taxes properly, the government ends up paying you.
Yes.
and
I
also,
actually,
were
from
you
last, sorry, go ahead.
like were you also staying in the you were in George Brown, so were you also staying in the hostel, or were you or like did you rent an apartment or something?
So initially, when I came here, I had a friend, Christian, uh, who was in Don Bosco. So I knew him very well. He was my senior, and so he helped me through it. And once I came here, I actually got my own apartment because it was easier for me to collect 2, 3 people from my class and just buy the whole apartment because it is so much cheaper than going to college dormitories or things like
Yeah.
they will give you facilities, yes, but it is going to be very, very expensive. So I wouldn't suggest anyone to go to the dormitories, but instead, once your college starts, you take like 2, 3 people who are your friends, and you guys can rent out the whole place. And here it is very easy to get a place. Like students can actually get places where is in Mumbai or in any metropolitan cities in India, you can't really get a house if you're a bachelor or you're a student. But I would definitely say that here you can, and that is a very this is like a huge plus point of coming to Canada.
So, guys, write down this. There's a site called as Kijiji. It's Kijiji, Kijiji. You can get anything over there, whether it's jobs, houses, rental accommodations, you want an appliance, you want to sell your appliance, whatever, anything. It's always there on Kijiji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Ma'am.
No, all good. Go ahead,
Oh,
brother.
good.
Yes.
Okay, so
All
if
right.
you're winding down, there's one last thing I want to tell all the students is, especially with COVID, I know things are horrifying right now. You guys are probably looking at what the industry is, and truth be told, the industry is going to be very different. And again, it is going to take a long time for things to get back to how it was. It may never go back to how it was. It is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. You guys are entering the industry at the worst possible time in the history of the industry, I would say. And there never has been, on honestly, even the veterans of the industry have no idea how to deal with this thing, because there has been no precedent like this in the past. We don't know what experiences to bank upon. Everyone is groping their way in the dark. Just rest assured that everybody in the world is in the same boat right now. I know it's difficult. You guys are all up and raring to go for your careers. I was up for a promotion which got stalled because of COVID. I don't know when I'm going to get that promotion. I don't know if that position is even going to exist after the hotel comes back to normal. And it's the same story all right now. Don't be too hard on yourselves, guys. If you can keep your head above water, you can, you're just taking life day to day. Learn something. If you cannot learn something, that's fine. Don't beat yourself about it. I know there's a lot of things that go about in the internet, like people are doing XYZ courses. You are thinking that I don't have the money to do these courses. It's absolutely fine. Go work. You can't work, don't work, that's fine. It is just a waiting game. And honestly, the people who are going to go ahead once this pandemic is over are the people who are patient. So just hold on, and it will pass. It is not going to pass soon. It is going to be difficult. It is going to be horrible on your mental health, but it will pass.
Thank you
But
so much. Yes,
but
yes.
I would like to add on to Vincent. I think I'm a guy who always sees the light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark it is. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. So what I want to send a message to each and every student right now. Uh, it's really good about Josiah. What he's doing, the digital marketing for Don Bosco. I want each and every student over there to either get associated with any small local businesses, like any small restaurants that are there in Mumbai. Right now, our job is to make sure that we lift the hospitality industry as well. So any students, we have free time right now, come up with an idea, come up with a plan, possibly how we can help the restaurants, the different local businesses over there. And for sure, we have a lot of ideas into it. Get that into get that into paper, get that into the works, start helping somebody get that experience. Once you have that additional experience, when all this pandemic is over, possibly, I don't know, when this is over, you will already be having a lot of experience of entrepreneurship. So I really believe in entrepreneurship as well. So this is don't I don't want to make it very gloomy about the hard times that we are going through. This is, on the flip side, it is good times. That is as well, we have a lot of break and we get to spend time with the families. On the other end, I don't think nobody would have spent so much time with your family. So yeah, so make the most of it right now. Do whatever is possible. I know a lot of people, playing PUBG, streaming themselves on YouTube, making money out of that as well. Make YouTube videos. Get some plan out to lift the hospitality. Right now. So just go out there and do whatever you feel is right. But yeah, but then there is a line. Make sure that when somebody is criticizing you about something, don't take it as to yourself. Possibly the person is just telling you to improve yourself. So that is it. So don't worry about the pandemic. Enjoy your times. Be careful. You wear your mask
Yeah.
for sure.
Take care of your mental health as much as your
Yes.
physical health.
Yes.
And stay
Right
safe.
now, I just want to give a shout out, Yogesh, when you were talking about this. We have a third year student whose name is Jordan Mascarenas, who has come up with his own venture, and it's called Baritones. And he has on every platform, from Instagram to Facebook to Twitter, he's on there. He's promoting, either it's a story, but now he's come up with these beautiful cocktail packages that you can order, and it's being delivered in Bombay. Yes, he's got his parents along with him, but Jordan has always been that kind. So the idea is, when they have a living example within them, so in their class already, what you said was right, both of you. Get ready, because once the pandemic is over, only the best and the brightest are going to get jobs. The rest can all be sitting at home and stay in perpetual lockdown. Sorry. Ma'am is ma'am.
Actually, with the jobs, remember, guys, that companies are all having negative cash flows for. I'm predicting for the next couple of years they're going to have negative cash flows. So, if you think that oh, today the vaccines come out, tomorrow hiring is going to start across all over the hospitality, that's not going to be true. They're going to first look at recouping all the losses that they have made. So we
True.
got to be really good.
Right. All right. Sorry.
Sorry, is that someone?
No. I think some.
Okay.
All right. I would like to thank you all for getting us students motivated and telling them exactly how to go about, whether it's going directly to work over there or whether to apply for a PR or to start with the education or carrying out your own hobbies over there. Thank you so much for motivating them. Annabelle, ma'am?
Thank you, each and every one of you. I know it's kind of pretty late into the night for some of you. And for taking this time out, really, honestly, you have no idea the seed you have planted with the kids that are watching you, the guests that have come on this webinar. I am beyond proud of each and every one of you. Ristin, you are one of mine, even though you were my student. What you'll have done with all your potential is simply run with it and then beyond it. And I know there are even bigger and brighter things ahead. And I think making sure that you get through it has just been what y'all were even when y'all were in college. So I wish you every success. Remember, we are always there. And I thank you for making sure that there's a continuity between the present students and y'all, and that the family stays together and we look out for each other. And thank you for giving back in your sense of time, for coming to visit us. I look forward to seeing you, each and every one of you, in person, because I'm an optimist, eternal optimist. I know that things are going to get better. And things are actually going to get better. To me, the pandemic has turned India into a much cleaner place. So
Yeah.
I am
Right
so
now we're at
grateful.
rock bottom, so
Yeah.
we can only go up now.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. After November 3rd, I'll talk to you. So thank you again very much on behalf of the entire webinar team, Roma ma'am, Andre sir, Chef Melroy, Chef Prasad, Susan ma'am. Thank you, because they are the ones. And I have two students who are forever here making sure that the server doesn't go down. Justin Paul, Justin Miranda, and Rahul. Rahul, thank you so much. They're forever there for every single webinar. And my entire faculty. Honestly, without y'all, nothing is possible. To all the students, especially the first years who had got their first tough morning yesterday, just know that it's trial by fire in the 3 years.
I can feel you guys. Okay, I can feel you guys. Just stick on over there.
So thank you again very much. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting us.
Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you. Thank you.